So Prynhawn da, good afternoon, and thank you all for joining our webinar to talk you through our full 14 to 16 qualifications offer decisions as part of our Qualified for the Future work. Involving others has always been a key part of our work, and we wanted to host this session to provide you with the information following on from publishing the decisions on Tuesday, and also to be available to answer any questions that you may have. My name is Laura Griffiths and I work in the Qualifications Policy and Reform team here at Qualifications Wales. So before we start, our aim is always to make our webinars as inclusive as possible. Therefore, should you wish to access the captions option during this webinar, please see 3 dots at the bottom of your screen. You may see the word more and then the 3 dots. And if you go ahead and click on the 3 dots, it should give you the option then to choose captions. Unfortunately, the captions are only available in English. This is also a bilingual webinar, so should you wish to access the translation part of the system, you can also do this by either clicking on the same 3 dots and clicking on interpretation, or at the bottom of some of your screens, you may see a globe icon. If you go ahead and click also on the globe icon, that will also give you the option to choose interpreter. And I will then go ahead and start speaking Welsh, and you should hear our interpreter, George. Felly, diolch i chi gyd am ymuno heddiw. Roedd 2023 yn garreg filltir allweddol i ni ar y daith cymwys ar gyfer y dyfodol, wrth i ni gyhoeddi ein penderfyniadau ar y tygau gwneud i Gymru newydd fydd yn cael ei addysgu mewn ysgolion a chanolfannau addysg o 2025 ymlaen. Ochr yn ochr yr tygau, mae'r wythnos yma yn garreg filltir arall wrth gyhoeddi ein penderfyniadau ar y cynnig llawn o gymwysterau 14-16 ar ddydd Mawrth. Bydd y penderfyniadau yma yn sicrhau cynnig cymwysterau newydd arloesol, cyffrous, cynhwysol a heriol i bob dysgwr uwchradd. So, hoffwn dechrau ddiolch i bawb sydd wedi bod yn rhan o'r daith mewn ffordd bach neu fawr wrth i ni wneud y penderfyniadau ar y cymwysterau a bydd yn cael eu cynnig o mis Medi 2027 i gyd fynd gydag uchelgais y cwricwlwm. Bydd cyfle heddi i roi adborth a gofyn cwestiynau trwy gydol y sesiwn yma. Bydd ein cyfarwyddwr polisi a diwygio cymwysterau Cassie Taylor yn cyflwyno'r penderfyniadau ac yn siarad am yr hyn sy'n digwydd nesaf i wneud yn siŵr bod y cymwysterau newydd hyn yn cael eu cyflwyno'n llwyddiannus ac yn unol â chwricwlwm i Gymru. Yna bydd ein cyfarwyddwr cyfathrebu ac ymgysylltu Asiog y Hir yn sôn am ein cynlluniau cyfathrebu ac ymgysylltu pellach. Felly, heb unrhyw oedi, na i drosglwyddo un cyfarwyddwr polisi a diwygio cymwysterau, Cassie Taylor. Cassie, over to you.
Diolch, Laura. Penderfyniadau da, everyone, and welcome from me as well to this webinar. So if one of my team could just indicate that they can hear me with a nod. Yes, that will do. Thank you very much, Laura. And I hope those of you who are struggling with the sound have managed to get that sorted now by enabling audio. So Annie, if we could move to the first slide, please. And this just confirms the agenda that Laura was outlining to you. I'll talk a little bit about our reform journey so far, and then I'll run through each of our decisions on the full 14 to 16 qualifications offer upon which we consulted, which will outline the new national 14 to 16 qualifications that will all be in place from September 2027. I will then hand over to our Director of Communications and Engagement, Ashok, and he'll run through our communications and engagement plans. And then we will have question and answers. We'll actually have some questions and answers as we run through. I'll stop after each of the types of qualifications. Please feel very welcome to communicate either by raising your hand using the Zoom function, or you can put your questions in the chat. So please, you're very encouraged to participate. Okay, so on to the next slide, please. So this has been part of a very long journey for us, and many of you will know that with the announcement of the curriculum for Wales and its introduction, there was a need to establish what would be the main qualifications that would be taken in years 10 and 11 for 14 to 16-year-olds to enable that curriculum to be delivered. We established fairly early on in the project that yes, there would still be GCSEs, and that's what many people know and talk about as being the qualifications that are taken by that age group. However, we realised fairly quickly that, of course, those are not by far the only qualifications that are taken that age group, and that many other qualifications are currently taken in that space. So we really wanted to embark upon a journey of understanding what purposes those qualifications were fulfilling, what they were, who was taking them, what they felt about them, and really what the needs of young people would be in the future at 14 to 16, what qualifications they should have to support them on their journey. So we want the qualifications moving forward to help learners to access and realise the full purposes of the curriculum for Wales. We want them to have sufficient choice and flexibility in their learning. We want them to be able to progress and follow and reflect the curriculum's principles of progression, and to be able to transition to post-16 learning with qualifications which will really reflect what they know, understand and can do. We recognise that this needs to be broader than what's going to be offered in the GCSE space. One of the messages that came through to us loud and clear was that it was so important to support learners' mental health and well-being, both in what they studied and in how it was delivered to them. So we know that there are very many different learner needs and different ways of learning and different interests, and we want to be able to accommodate all of those, with qualifications that can be taught in a way which is positive and gives them learning experiences which help them to stay engaged with school learning, whatever their interests, aptitudes or abilities. We want them to be able to access the curriculum in all its different dimensions, in all the areas of learning, in all the skills that they are required to develop, and the cross-curricular guidance that exists as well. And we want to reflect the diversity of learners and the world that we live in, and making the best use of digital technology, but also mindful of some of the accessibility challenges that presents. And of course, and perhaps above all, we want learners to have a fully bilingual choice of qualifications so that they can take them through any of the qualifications that are available to them through the medium of English, Welsh, or both languages. Okay, so that's just a bit of a background as to what we're aspiring to deliver as a whole. A little bit then about the journey that we've been on. After that period of a couple of years, in fact, of engagement and research into what qualifications were needed alongside GCSEs, we developed some proposals which we went out to consult on just under a year ago now, in March last year. We ran that consultation for 3 months, and we were really pleased to receive more than 500 responses to the consultation, and even more pleased that about half of those were from learners and young people. So we really got a good feel for people's response to those. Since that consultation closed, we've continued to listen and talk with stakeholders of all kinds in many groups, and had many really interesting discussions as people expanded upon the feedback that they'd given in the consultation. And those discussions have included discussions with Welsh Government and helping us to ensure that we align our proposals for qualifications with their decisions and their ambitions for the curriculum for Wales. And we think we've got really good alignment here that they are also supportive of. So that all led up to earlier this week on Tuesday, us publishing our decisions report on what qualifications will exist from 2027 onwards. But that's by no means the end of our journey. We now will proceed on a programme of development, working with awarding bodies and continuing to engage with stakeholders and hearing their views throughout the whole of this year. And I'll tell you a little bit more about our future timescale at the end of this slot. So, to summarise then, there will be 4 types of qualifications as well as GCSEs available to learners, and we'll be calling that the national 14 to 16 qualifications. So there will be a personal project qualification. There'll be a suite of skills for life and skills for work units that can be combined into qualifications with those titles, and I'll explain all about that in a moment. There will be, as many of you will have heard on the news this week, VCSEs, Vocational Certificate of Secondary Education, to sit alongside GCSEs as a sister brand with, we hope over time, equal recognition and value. And there will be foundation qualifications for learners who are not ready to take the qualifications at level 1 and 2, but who would currently perhaps take entry-level qualifications, but with the ability for them to achieve at level 1. More about those in a moment. So looking first then at the personal project qualification. We'd originally consulted on something called an integral skills project, but that wasn't really a very catchy title, and it was suggested to us that personal project might be a better title, and we agreed with that. Because it really reflects the ethos of this qualification as being something that a learner can take on a topic of their choice. It can be taken as a project on any topic, whether that be something that relates to expanding their knowledge on an area of their study in GCSEs or in other qualifications, whether it's an area of interest or a topic of research, perhaps something linked to religion, values and ethics, whatever topic, that's okay. What they will be assessed against, though, is the application of those integral skills, those cross-cutting skills from the curriculum. This qualification will take up 60 guided learning hours and will be available at entry level, level 1 and level 2. It will be graded at each of those levels at pass, merit or distinction, and learners will be able to submit their project in a wide range of formats. So for some, it might be a piece of extended writing. For others, it might be a digital project. And others, again, it might be an artifact with notes as to the process that's been through to produce it. So it's just about really enabling learners to perform and to present the best of their skills in whatever format suits them. And we would like that project to be internally assessed and externally quality assured by the awarding bodies who will be delivering it. Okay, so let's move on then to the skills for life and skills for work. We consulted on these, and indeed we had very strong support for them. So we're proceeding with the development of skills for life and skills for work qualifications. And we'll be setting the guidelines for those, the criteria for those, and awarding bodies. As with all of the qualifications I'm talking to you about today, they'll be developed by a number of different awarding bodies. So these qualifications will consist of a wide range of bite-sized units, which will be 10 or 20 guided learning hours each, and each of those units will be available at entry level, level 1 and level 2. Learners will be able to combine those units to qualifications, which range from 60 to 240 guided learning hours, and we'll see how those work in a little while. The qualifications and the units will be graded pass or fail. So a very simple grading scale, and we'll see again in a moment how that might work. The units are, as I said, and we'll look at the topics in a moment, but they cover a wide range of topics that will enable learners to develop those cross-curricular and integral skills further. They'll be able to develop knowledge and understanding, but they'll also be able to look at that in the context of their learning, but also of experiences, which are such an important part of the curriculum. They'll also be able to look at careers and work-related experiences, another part of the curriculum, and to focus on those and to take units from that. The content of these units is not going to be highly prescriptive. We want, again, to allow a wide range of learning experiences and opportunities to demonstrate skills through a range of evidence types. The assessment, again, for these will be set by the awarding body, will be marked by teachers, and will be externally quality assured. And we will require awarding bodies to produce guidance and learning for teachers, but particularly to include example combinations of units to support the delivery of the curriculum. So we know, for example, that many schools will want to have a straightforward replacement for the Skills Challenge certificate, which this skills suite replaces. And that is entirely possible. So by using a combination of 60 skills units together with the project, you can have a pretty much like for like a replacement for the Skills Challenge certificate, and that an example of that and how it might help you to demonstrate as a school the coverage of the curriculum, that will all be possible. Okay, so let's take a look at those units then. So the skills for work units are unchanged from what we originally consulted on. They are based upon the careers and work-related experiences aspect of the curriculum. And they cover a wide range of topics, each of which in their own right will be really useful for learners in thinking about how they transition to post-16 education, apprenticeships or work, and really will help them to prepare for their futures. It's not pretending that all learners can cover all aspects of that careers-related education just through doing these units, but they were a really good way for learners to focus on an area of that in the context of having been learning about these things throughout their education. And for example, those of you who are familiar with the Skills Challenge certificate, you'll see Enterprise Venture there as one of those units, and that would be able to switch in to some of the things that you're covering at the moment in the Skills Challenge certificate. But there are lots of other units as well, which we think are really exciting. And then to look at the Skills for Life units. So these have changed a little since we went out to consultation, and we had some good suggestions for better titles. We also had good suggestions for a new unit. Not quite sure how we managed to forget to put in something on food planning and preparation at the start, but we've got it there now. And we also added in 3 units which speak to the religion, values and ethics part of the curriculum, because we won't be having a sort of a separate course in this, but we felt it really important to include units to enable learners, if they wanted to, and if their schools wanted to run a programme of study on this, to cover faith and beliefs in the local community, ethical choices and values for life, which could be combined with a project in this area if that was what was felt to be useful for young people. But you'll see a really interesting range of units there, which schools can choose from to offer to their learners, which really address some of the topics that learners themselves have told us they really want to learn at school. We don't expect all schools, or perhaps any schools actually, to offer the whole range of units, but we think that over time schools will be able to perhaps start with a few and build up their portfolio of units to give learners really good choices. Let's look now at how they might combine into qualifications. So you'll see that there will be 3 different titles of qualifications that will depend upon the combination of units that learners choose from across those 2 lists I've just showed you. And if a learner takes 60 guided learning hours or credits, they would be able to be entitled to an award, 120 to a certificate and 240 to a diploma. So those difference of the titles reflect the different size of qualification that learners would be achieving. And they can achieve that by taking all Skills for Life units, or a majority of them, and getting a Skills for Life qualification, Same with skills for work. And if they take a balanced mix of the two, then they would get a skills for life and work qualification. And you'll see from that really that they could, for learners for whom the GCSE offer isn't engaging them in school, that and for some learners in different settings perhaps, that they could work to a large combination of skills for life diploma and a skills for work diploma at the most, and really follow a very full programme of study with those units. But that would be very unusual. We'd expect the majority of learners to perhaps start with the basic, an award and the project, and see where else they can gain units across the curriculum. And as I said, each of those qualifications that are listed there will be available at entry level, level 1 and level 2. Okay, let's move on then. Right, I'm going to stop there because that's the skills suite. That's the one part of the range of national qualifications, and I'd like to take any questions that we've got on that. I heard a lot of pings while I was speaking, but I wasn't able to see the questions at the time. So let's
Jessie.
yes. Do you want to feed them to me?
Yes, of course. So from Dora Felin, you may well answer this, but is the personal project and skills for the skills suite, is it going to be optional or complementary or anticipated to be taken by most approaching all of cohorts?
Yes, so I kind of touched upon this, but this is where I think one of the requirements upon schools is that they have good coverage of the curriculum as a whole through years 10 and 11, whilst they're not expected to cover all the statements of what matters because learners will be making some choices for their GCSEs. But the skills, a combination of some skills suite units and the personal project, we think would be a good way of demonstrating coverage of the wider aspects of the curriculum, and it would also fit neatly into the slot that is going to be vacated by the Skills Challenge certificate. So we envisage that most learners will take a combination of units and do a project, but it's not for us to say, you must do that, and I doubt Welsh Government would say you must do that. But that is what we would envisage seeing, and we'd see that as being a really good thing for learners to take. Some learners may benefit, or many learners, in fact, may benefit from taking a wider range of units, but we know that there are pressures on curriculum time and so forth. But different schools will want to deliver these in different ways, and there is that ultimate flexibility. So I hope that answers that question. Is there another one?
So Catherine has asked, will learners be able to complete a 240 GLH qualification in both skills for life and skills for work, or is it 240 GLH the maximum qualification size across both skill suites?
Right, yes, I think I probably did touch on this one. So learners, if it's right for them and can be fitted into the way that the learning institution, whatever that is, delivers that to them, they can take a skills for life and a skills for work qualification. I think it would be pushing it a bit on top of that to take another 240 in skills for work and life. But yeah, I think the answer to your question is that they can take up to about 480 hours worth, if that is right for that particular learner.
And
Yeah.
Catherine also asked, will these be devised in such a way that they are not accredited by asking learners to fill in a series of booklets and instead are focused on meaningful experiences for learners? And if so, will the administration be manageable for teachers and centres?
Yes, thank you. Really good question. That is certainly what we are aiming for, Catherine. And we have a guiding principles that we use when thinking about qualification design and that we require awarding bodies to demonstrate to us. And we call it MERV, which stands for manageable, engaging, reliable, and valid. And we are absolutely aware of the need for qualifications to be manageable for teachers and schools and other providers. but equally we want them to be engaging for learners. And so we'll be looking at that when we approve these qualifications, and we'll also be not just waiting for them to come in and then checking that they've got that, but we'll be working with the awarding bodies throughout to say that we really want these to be engaging qualifications. We want them to be promoting the choice of interesting experiences for learners, and we want the assessment to be good, but not overburdensome and not repetitive. It's not about lots of writing. It's about really demonstrating the skills. So I hope that's reassuring to you, Katrin. Okay.
Thanks, Cass. A question from Katie in relation to the BSL unit. She's asking, is this a unit from the level 1 qualification, or is this a unit created by Wales?
So the BSL unit will be a unit particularly created to go within this skills suite, and there's also work ongoing for the British Sign Language GCSE, which will be available at the same time as well.
So another question. So this is the replacement for the Skills Challenge certificate, but it won't be a GCSE.
So it'll, depending on the level that learners, yes, it will. Firstly, yes, it will replace the Skills Challenge certificate. It won't. The combinations won't be a GCSE, and I hope you'll have seen why, because of the flexible nature of those qualifications. However, 120 guided learning hours at level 1 or level 2 with those qualifications, which may be made up in the project or the units, would be valued at the same as a GCSE, and we'll make that really clear in all of our communications about how all of the different qualifications that I'm talking to you about today align with each other and the grade values. So equivalent to, but not the same. And that goes for other qualifications we're talking about now as well.
And Bev has asked, is this something that can be undertaken or continued in FE, or is it just within the school?
Yeah, we see that there's a good chance that these will be taken by further education colleges for a range of reasons and to meet a range of learners' needs. One example would be for learners progressing to independent living skills, for example. We think that they would be really useful there. But not just for those learners, for learners of all kinds. They may be additional top-ups, things to keep them interested post 16 as well. Okay,
Lisa,
I can actually see the next question, Lisa's question, rather than you reading it all out, which about the content differing for entry level 1, 2, or do it be work and then assessed? Lisa, that's something that we need to work through. I think that there will be some different levels of content and exemplified for each of those levels. And potentially within the entry levels, but we just need to see how that works out best. And we want to involve practitioners in making sure we have the best design of the qualifications. So we'd expect there to be different content, particularly for the skills unit. For the project, it may well be based on where they get to and what they achieve in that, because that will be so loose in a sense. I don't mean loose as in not easy to do, but more freely defined. But with the skills units, I would imagine there'll be some different exemplification, but also learners could perhaps switch between levels fairly easily if they were progressing well and it seemed like they were likely to achieve at a higher level. I hope that helps. I know it's a little bit complicated, but that's something to work through a bit more. I hope that makes sense. And the personal project is standalone. It doesn't contribute to those skills for life and work qualifications. Those will be taken on top of the project. And it is a separate qualification that is taken alongside the skills units. But we talk about the project and the skills units together as being the skills suite. The teaching of British Sign Language is a really complicated issue. We know that it's something that we need to have further discussions on in relation to the GCSE. We're hopeful here that with appropriate training, this could be at the most perhaps the most basic level and short course of that. So we're looking to explore how best to support teaching in this area. But I recognise it's a challenging topic there. This qualification will be if it's 120 guided learning hours, at level 2. If they go for the certificate, that would be equivalent to a GCSE at grades A to C. If they take the same again at level 1, that will be equivalent to a GCSE at grades D to G, and so on. So it depends on the level and the size of units and size of qualification that learners take. But we will very clearly set out the qualifications alongside each other. So for comparability purposes, will the units replace the Agored Cymru Learning Core? So these national qualifications that we're talking about here will replace all of the qualifications that are eligible for public funding, with the possibility of some exceptions for specific reasons. I'll talk a bit about that later. But we know that the awarding bodies, including Agored, are interested in evolving their qualifications so that they fit our criteria for this suite, and will therefore raise the profile of the qualifications that are offered by different awarding bodies. And we're all together collectively, us and the awarding bodies, quite excited about this. The work experience requirement, there's no requirement as such. That's just a unit that people can take if they are able to get work experience. And obviously that would need to be, carefully managed, and guidance upon that would need to be provided with the unit, and safeguarding and processes would need to be followed, and so forth. But it's a unit that can be chosen if it's appropriate and manageable to do so. Yes, I think Rebecca, and the idea is that this suite overall, all the quals I'm talking to you about, will be the only fundable ones, and that many qualifications that exist already will evolve into them. So unless things are designated by exception, which I'll come on to later, then this is the suite altogether. Okay, I take the feedback about, there's a sense that it's losing something with the skills challenge certificate, but we also think there are pros in favour of this in many ways as well. So we hope that learners won't lose out as a consequence. So we will look at equivalences, Katrin, and really and we're doing our best to sort of work out how we would describe those and make sure that they're clear to everybody. Welsh Government on performance points hasn't yet announced what it will do in terms of accountability measures. We are speaking to Welsh Government and saying how important it is, because people know that if qualifications to be included, they should be included everything that we have in this national qualifications offer. I'm confident that if they are included, these national qualifications would be included too, but we're all waiting to hear what those accountability measures are. And yes, I think that comes to the end of the questions. We probably ought to move on at this point. So it doesn't mean you can't ask any more about those. If they occur to you, we'll try and pick those up at the end. So this possibly won't take quite so long, this section. So we are also proceeding with the development of a range of foundation qualifications that link to areas of learning and experience that sit beneath GCSEs as qualifications that learners who typically would have either taken entry-level qualifications before, so these will be available at the 3 different levels of entry, or would have been targeted at a grade F or G in GCSE, and therefore might have spent a couple of years really being coached to take a handful of questions on a GCSE paper, when they might benefit from a richer programme of learning for a foundation qualification. And the topics that we will have definitely have available will be expressive arts, humanities, English, international language pathways, which will be slightly different. That'll be kind of a strand in its own right that goes from entry level to level 2, maths and numeracy, the sciences, digital technology, and design technology. And you may think, well, where's Cymraeg? Where's Welsh? And that is, it is not there at the moment, because we are still just working out, and in discussion with many interested stakeholders, what's the most important, the right way to develop these foundation qualifications, whether they should bridge like the others into level 1, or whether that's problematic in terms of a desire to have a continuum of learning to deliver the Welsh Government's Cymraeg 2050 commitments and to increase the ability of young people to speak Welsh. So there's many issues wrapped up in that. We want to think about it really carefully, so we're going to take a little bit longer to do so. So that isn't off the table, it's just that something we need to do a little bit more work on. So those qualifications, as I said, will be available and they will bridge entry level and level 1. So if I can go to the next slide. I thought so. We'll be straight then on to questions about those. Okay, I will take that next one from about the post-16 qualification. So the post-16 qualification, I think in terms of the skills transfer certificate, is the new Advanced Skills Baccalaureate Wales, and we would be looking, for the qualifications that we're looking at to be very mindful of how they provide progression onto that. So that's not. There are no plans to change that. That's been changed now. The Applied Skills Baccalaureate Wales is there. It's new and it's being taught at the moment. So that's the qualification that these will be mindful of to be ready. Everything that we're talking about today, Rebecca and everybody, these are for first teaching from September 2027. Until then, the Skills Challenge Certificate will continue to be available to young people, as will the very wide range of existing qualifications that are out there at the moment. The foundation science will just be that foundation science entry to level 1. We'll have the double award, and then there's a single award being looked at as well at the moment for learners for whom the double award is too much of a stretch, but still at GCSE standard. Yes, you can do foundation and KT in one curriculum area and GCSE in a different curriculum area. And this is entirely because learners often have what we call spiky profiles, and they might be really good at one subject and struggle more with another subject. So this is about making sure that learners of all abilities take a course and a qualification that is designed to meet their needs, rather than be squashed into, say, a GCSE if that's not the right level for them. But that doesn't mean that they are taking foundation qualifications in all subjects, by no means. Yes, just to repeat, Simon, that you may not have heard, these qualifications, the whole range that I'm talking about tonight, will be replacing pretty much everything in the 14 to 16 fundable qualification space. But we're very much working with the awarding bodies who offer those qualifications, those popular qualifications, to evolve those qualifications to fit into the designs that we are talking about here, the brands that we're talking about here, and the value that's placed upon them. The grading, Katrin, for foundation is something we're just working through at the moment, and we'd like to have further conversations with people on across entry level, because we want to think about the best way of reflecting that level 1 achievement, which would be very much targeted at the kind of the FG learners. So yes, more to come on that one. There is only the thoughts and questions slide up at the moment, Martin. You're not missing anything unless you can't hear me. I hope you can hear me, and you won't be able to answer if you can't, so let's move on. Could I give more detail about the international language pathways? Well, not a great deal of detail, because we need to work on developing the approval criteria, but only to say that we know that international language pathways units that exist at the moment, and we think that's the sort of thing that's needed. So we'll be looking to have something very similar in that space. Unless anybody in my team wants to speak up, I think I will leave that one as that. We just got, we will be working from now on to get the designs of these qualifications sorted. Great, Martin, that's good or bad, depending if you like what you hear. Okay, thank you. Right, let's move on to the next bit now. So this is the bit you probably all heard on the news, because you get a new brand and that's what everybody wants to talk about. So you probably will have heard that we will be having a brand new brand of qualifications, a brand new range of qualifications called VCSEs. And these will be in work-related subjects. So the VCSE, like GCSEs, will be at level 1 / level 2. So it will bridge those two levels. And like the GCSEs, they'll have foundation qualifications at entry and level 1, just like the ones we've been talking about. In fact, those foundation qualifications will be part of the same range. We're keeping the VCSEs separate from GCSEs because we think it's really important to promote the value of vocational education and to reward learners with a brand of qualifications that sounds and is, of equal value to GCSEs, but it's just different. So it's the same size, the same level, but different sort of content and different sort of assessment. So as I said, it's 120 to 140 guided learning hours, just like GCSEs are. We will require them to be deliverable within reasonable resources available to schools. But we know that some schools will choose to offer some qualifications and not others. Some schools already deliver vocational qualifications using some really good resources. And it'll be up to schools to choose what they feel able to deliver. And of course, they won't be just limited to delivery in schools. Some of them may be used by colleges in 14 to 16 college school links for programmes that they deliver there. We want the VCSEs to support learners transition it into post-16 vocational study, but we think it's really important to recognise that when you're learning, moving on to a competence-based qualification in further education, that doesn't necessarily mean just because you've got a VCSE that was, 120 guided learning hours, that means you're exempt from taking qualification at level 2, which is much bigger than that. Appropriate transition may well be to level 2. In some cases, it might be to level 1, but that's okay, and that's not a downward step. It is simply about progressing in the right way to post-vocational 16 study with a bit of interest that's been generated by learning that subject with some practical skills that they can take with them and build their confidence. So these qualifications will develop learners' knowledge, understanding, but importantly their skills, using some practical-based application approaches to learning. And we're thinking that these qualifications will be graded pass, merit, distinction, distinction star, or similar. So we're considering, still got a bit of work to do considering those, but what we know is we need to have clear mapping across of VCSEs to equivalent grades at GCSEs, and we're working on that. Okay, on to the next slide, please. So the subjects that we'll be developing those qualifications or working with the awarding bodies to develop those qualifications in are, you'll see there, all of those except for performing arts will have a foundation or entry level, level 1 qualification there. So they'll all have them. Performing arts won't, because it's got an expressive arts foundation already, and there are skills units as well, so it'd be a bit much there. Now, at the moment, we've got lots of yeses against those subjects for VCSE, but 3 qualification areas, 3 topics where we've said to be determined, and we have some more work to do and a small consultation which will be issuing in April. And that's because those 3 subjects, health and social care and childcare, engineering and built environment, are currently on the plan for GCSEs. And that was before we came up with the decision that we would call them VCSEs. And we are wondering now whether having them as GCSEs does the new brand a disservice, and whether they should come into that VCSE space. There might be a different conclusion for each of those subjects, but that's something that we want to do a little bit more work on. Okay, so really, interesting range of subjects there that we will have VCSEs in and foundations below those. So I'm going to stop again there and see if I can spot where the questions for this one start. So just one then. Okay, yeah, David. So GCSEs, we're also saying now 120 to 140, so it's the same. It's just because, you know, we don't want to be that specific about it being 120 anymore. We want to say there'll be a range for those as well. So the same goes for VCSEs. Okay, hopefully that's answered. Can't see any other questions, but please feel free to ask them. Okay. Let's go on to this one then, and you can always ask them at the end. I'll pick them back up. So this is a representation, as simple as we can express it at the moment, of the national 14 to 16 qualifications, from which all qualifications that young people take at this age will be drawn. And you'll see there GCSEs and VCSEs proudly side by side, equivalent value, and with the different subjects that we've talked about. And beneath each of those foundation qualifications, and then we've got the skills suite made up of those skills for life, skills for work, and qualifications, including the awards, certificates and diplomas, and the personal project. And in each of these areas, then you'll see that we've got a range of nationally recognised qualifications from entry level right up to level 2. And I think, you know, this is probably the most comprehensive and clear and simple national qualifications offer that you'll find across the UK. And we're really proud about it and really excited about taking it forward to give a really good offer for all learners, so that all of the qualifications they take are valued in their own right, and not looked down upon in any way. Okay. So I'll come back to the questions in a moment. I can see a couple starting to come through. So just to run through the timeline first, we are at the beginning of the second grey box there. We've published our decisions report this week, and now the team will be cracking on with developing and publishing approval criteria, which define what these qualifications need to be like, so that awarding bodies can develop the qualifications and submit them for approval. So they'll be doing that in 2025. But we very much see this as a journey of working together, of working with awarding bodies, involving stakeholders, getting views and feeding into the design of those qualifications moving forward. And for them then to submit for approval their qualifications to us at the beginning of 2026, and for all those specifications to be published by September 2026, a year in advance of first teaching in September 2027. So that's our timescale. And I think now I'll just look back at the questions. Can I say a bit more about equivalency? Does one VCCE equal one GCSE? Yes, it does. So they are the same size. They'll have different grading to reflect the different sort of assessment and structure of them, but they will be equivalent to that. So we would expect, for example, colleges setting entry requirements to kind of say X number of GCSEs or VCSEs at these different grades. And so we see them as being, you know, taking up same timetable slot, having the same value for progression. Yes, well, I won't comment on GMVQs. I was around at the time. Lots of positive things to be saying about GMVQs actually, but you know, ultimately ill-fated, as you say. I think this is different in its approach, but we'll certainly be putting all of our efforts in across Wales to making sure that these work for learners. Okay, Catherine, this is a significant reduction, oh dear, in the vocational offer available to our learners in Wales. I think, okay, so level 3 vocational courses, we will, so let me talk, I said I'd talk about the exceptions, right? So as I said, this will be the main offer, and many of the choices that currently exist, I think, will evolve into the qualification types that we've talked about. So it's not really intended to reduce choice, rather it's intended to reduce complexity. So there are likely to be more than one awarding body offering, a VCSE in any given subject, for example. So we're not wishing to restrict the ability of schools to cover subjects. So, Katrin, if you do have some specific examples that you're worried about, I would encourage you to reach out to us and let's have a conversation about that. But what we will also be doing is consulting later this month, I believe, or next month, on our designation policy. So that'll be about the fact that we want to replace most of the qualifications with this offer. However, we are also setting out some draft criteria for considering exceptions to that. You'll have the opportunity then to think about would the qualifications you're thinking about meet that exception criteria, in which case awarding bodies will be able to apply to us to have those qualifications designated to still be available. So we are thinking that that we know that there will be some exceptions of that, and we certainly don't want to limit progression to further education. Another thing I just will point out as well is that we are aware that often through school-college partnerships, junior apprenticeships and that, some learners do go to college at 14 to 16. Sometimes that's funded by schools, for example, and they tend to take larger qualifications. So we are looking at being able to fit those larger qualifications into those exception criteria for those learners who are taking qualifications that require specialist equipment and so on, and are larger than a VCSE. So that may cover some of the things you're thinking about, but Katrin, we'd be very pleased to hear from you with your concerns, and let's explore that. Would it be easier if all qualifications, including the GCSE Wave 1 and 2, are launched for teaching in September 2027 at the same time? Well, I think that's a debate question. That is, Rebecca, actually. I think we see some benefits of starting some, not launching everything at once for schools. I see that there's a neatness to having them all at once. It's just not possible with the work that's needed to get them developed and made available. But yeah, I take your point. We are where we are with that in some respects. There we go. Okay, going back to the skills suite, sorry, that's okay. If a centre runs a personal project and 60 Gender Learning Hours skills worth units technically replace the volume, would this not give the learners 2.5 GCSE equivalent? That is correct, but I think it's the accumulated value of those that would be looked at. And remember, this will be the national offer for learners. So I think we would be expecting, for example, a college and a school looking at progression. If they were counting previously a skills challenge certificate as a GCSE, they would be counting the project plus 60 GLH of an award, let's say, because that's what we're saying we're called, an award plus a project as being the same thing. So I don't think that's going to disadvantage people in any way. Certainly hope not anyway, but yes, again, if you want to continue the conversation, please do reach out to us. Yes, the EAL Diploma in Practical Engineering. So this may well be able to be, it's a larger qualification, so that may be something that can be considered in the exception criteria, which I've just talked about for those larger qualifications that might that require specialist equipment and so forth. So there's potential for that to be considered by Qualifications Wales if an awarding body applies for that to be designated beyond 2027. What work has been done to date to ensure that colleges and employers recognise the new qualifications as intended? I really think that work, we've certainly been working with colleges. There's a range of different views from colleges, but many of them are now recognising that these have great potential, but there's clearly a lot of work to do. The first learners will be leaving school or progressing within school in 5 years' time on this. They'll start taking in 2027, so we have some time, and we're very, very clear that we need to do some really good communications work, and that will be high on our agenda for change management. Contact email has just been provided. It's you write to my colleague Heidi Mills, heidi.mills@qualifications.wales. RVE is compulsory to year 11. So there are, obviously there's the RE GCSE is available, so that might be taken. Excuse me. The other excuse me one moment. So the 3 skills for life units, which I mentioned, will be ways of having something that is assessed in that area. There is no requirement for assessment to take place. So you can deliver RBE without qualifications, but if you want units that sit nicely with those, you can certainly use those, and that's one of the purposes of having them there. And we're also talking to organisations such as WSACRA about the opportunities there for suggesting project topics that learners could do in that space as well. Okay, yeah, and absolutely, I appreciate that as soon as we talk about a qualification type catching, that you want more, people will want to understand more about the assessment structure and grading, but we're just at that beginning of that particular journey. We're saying, we've come with quite a lot of comparatively of information about the qualifications at this stage before we can even get the awarding bodies to develop them. But it really kicks off from now on, and we very much welcome involvement in that and suggestions to help us get this right for learners. But what we are clear on is that we will have a very clear and straightforward message about the equivalences of the different qualifications within this national offer. We will be working really hard to communicate that to everybody that needs to know. And it's one of our principal aims is to ensure public confidence in qualifications. So we're really well aware of that. Compulsory games, PE, sport. Yeah, the aspects of the curriculum that you are required to deliver, you are not required to deliver a qualification for them. But if you want to use skills units to help that with the exercise units, for example, then they would be a great thing to use to support that. But it's not about requiring learners to take them at all. They are all optional. Okay, I think I have reached the end of the questions that have come up there. That doesn't mean you can't ask any more, but I'm going to hand over. I'm conscious I've reached the end of the time, haven't I, Ashok? I'm so sorry. There are lots of questions. We'll be able to have a copy of this tablet. I'm sure you will. Ashok, quickly, do you want to rush through your bit?
Diolch, Cassie. And for those of you who don't speak the second language of heaven, the first one being Punjabi, of course, but I'm just now yn troi i'r Gymraeg. So, gobeithio ti'n gallu push the button. Okay. Just the newid ymlaen, if you can change the slides. It's just me that's frozen. Have you lost me now?
Do you want to go beyond the dates there, Ashok?
Yeah, please. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Annie, can you move them on? There we go.
I'm not seeing the slides. Apologies.
Okay, so we're now on the spread the word slide, Ashok. So I think I'll cover for Ashok here as he seems to be having some technological problems.
I'm back, Cassie. Okay.
You're back now. Great.
I don't know why it is, but every time I do these webinars, when it jumps to me, I seem to cry.
Okay, we're not doing it on purpose. It's not a plan.
Okay, yeah. So ar y foment, ni'n rannu lot o manylion. Mae gen i ymgyrch cyfathrebu ymgysylltu. So rhan o'r hwnna oedd ddoi. Mae Cassie wedi sôn yn barod am stori newyddion. O'n i'n ar lot o wahanol sianeli ddoi, nid jyst yn Gymru, ond hefyd ar sianeli fel Sky News. So gobeithio mae lot o pobl wedi gweld e. Bydd y gwaith hwnna nawr yn parhau. Mae hwnna'n just really a dechrau o'r broses. Byddwn ni'n pwysio stuff ar cyfryngau cymdeithasol, so ni'n neud hysbysebion, ti wedi gweld hysbysebion, their future their way type hysbysebion. Bydd hwnna'n gwthio wedyn at y gwefan nawr ni. Annie, can you go on to the next one? A little bit of a delay, I think, on my screen. Has it changed, or am I just stuck on one again, Cassie?
It's on we had a floaty thing to the resources and it's floating again to social assets. So I think the floating is on the move.
Okay, it's just, well, I think I've got a bit of a lag compared to everybody.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm probably have to talk to a slide that I can't see, apologies. Yeah, so just in terms of sort of stuff cymdeithasol, ni yn gweithio'n galed, nid just ar sort of slides a lluniau, ond hefyd ar storiau. So oedd lot o storiau ddoe ar y newyddion o ysgolion sy'n barod yn wneud y gwaith o gwmpas cymwysterau galwadigaethol, a sut mae hwn yn gweithio tu fewn y gwaith, ond hefyd nawr, ni'n dechrau gwaith i ymgysylltu ar y newidiad. Mae Cassie wedi sôn yn barod am y pwynciau fel iechyd o gofal, byddwn ni'n ymgynghori am hwnna dros y wythnosau nesaf, so byddwch chi'n gweld hwnna. Annie, I still can't change to see the thing, so do you want to go ahead and Cassie, you're going to tell me which one we're on?
I think we've gone through lots of them actually. We're now on Thank You, Your Support, and we're with Guto.
Okay, so if Gito's video is there, with Gito and just yn am rhyw ffordd just rhoi cyd-destun i'r holl waith a gobeithio y ffordd ni'n trio siapio y cynnig newydd, sef y Cymwysterau Genedlaethol 14-16. Go, Annie.
Our purpose here is to prepare our students to thrive and be well-rounded members of their local community. So the experiences and the qualifications we offer have got to match that up. The academic qualifications, the vocational qualifications, and also the skills-based learning, which isn't always easy to assess via exams, but your first aid, your safety on the internet, your employability skills, these are all really important skills that deserve their place in education. So it's great to see that the skills suite will offer those experiences to our students.
Well,
our purpose here is to prepare.
Okay, just un peth i cyflwyno ar y diwedd, mae hwn yn holl bwysig. Mae Cymwysterau hwn yn ffitio mewn y cynnig newydd. Ni'n galw fe Cymwysterau Genedlaethol 14-16. So, heddiw ni wedi lansio ardal Porth newydd gyda manylion am pob un o gymwysterau newydd, yr un tygau newydd, y tai newydd, y cyfres sgiliau, a hefyd yr cymwysterau sylfaen. Byddwn ni'n gweithio nawr dros y misoedd nesaf i roi unrhyw gwybodaeth sy'n cyd-fynd gyda unrhyw cymwyster benodol ar y gwefan hwnna. So dyma'r esiampl o'r un tygau. Yn barod wrth gwrs mae Cybac yn gweithio ar y specifications ar gyfer pob un o'r tygau newydd. So byddwn ni'n rhoi unrhyw gwybodaeth diweddaraf ar y gwefan, ar y tudalen pwrpasol ar gyfer pob un tygau. A hefyd byddwn ni'n gofyn bendant o ysgolion a athrawon am adborth os mae unrhyw cwestiynau sy'n dod trwyddo ar gyfer ni, ar gyfer partneriaid fel Cybac neu cyrff dyfannu arall gyda rhai arall o'r cymwysterau, a byddwn ni'n hefyd wrth gwrs rhoi unrhyw cwestiynau i Llywodraeth er enghraifft ar mesurau perfformiad. Annie, did you go ahead? I think that's about it. Os yna unrhyw cwestiynau arall gan unrhyw un? Ni wedi drosto. Laura, nôl at ti.
Diolch, Ashok. And thank you all so much for being so very patient with us with our technological issues that we experienced this evening. And as I put in the chat, if anybody wants to ask Cassie or Ashok any further questions, then the email address is in the chat function for you. Pop your questions in there and we'll ensure that somebody does get back to you with some answers on those. So diolch yn fawr unwaith eto am eich sylwadau heddiw ac am ymuno. Ac edrychwn ymlaen at parhad y cydweithio ac fel wedodd Ashok, cofiwch chi'n ymweld am gwefan ar ardal Cymwysterau 14-16 cenedlaethol newydd i gael mynediad at yr holl wybodaeth. Ond dyna ni am y noson, diolch am ymuno ac yn noswaith dda.